Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to my video. So over the next couple of videos, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to program in JavaScript. So JavaScript is a really awesome programming language in which you can create a huge number of really awesome things. Like JavaScript is used most popularly in front-end web development. It is also used in back-end web development, which means if you know JavaScript, it's possible for you to build front-end and back-end websites and applications, which is really awesome. You could also use your JavaScript to create your mobile apps and just games and stuff, and you can create a variety of things using JavaScript. So, in this series of videos, I'll be dealing with the basic building blocks which you need in learning JavaScript. So, I'm going to go through the fundamentals. So, this is a beginner series. I will not be covering any advanced stuff, but at the end of this series, we'll be able to build up a little project that's going to show you really the capabilities of JavaScript. So let's get started by first downloading our code editor. So our code editor of choice in this series is Visual Studio Code. So let's just open up your browser and type in code.visualstudio.com, the URL up there, and then you can just download it here. So as you can see, it's available on Mac OS, on Windows, and on Linux. So it's a really awesome code editor. It's my preferred code editor for my JavaScript and multiple other languages because it comes with a ton of extensions to just help you make your coding easier. You really don't want to be bothering too much with nitty-gritties of coding. Sometimes it really helps to get some extensions that get basic work done. So VS Code will be our preferred code editor, but that does not say you can't use any other code editor. You could use your Sublime Text, you could use your Atom, you could use your Notepad or whatever code editor you prefer. So we are just going to use VS Code as our preferred code editor. So let's just close that up. Once you've downloaded and installed Visual Studio Code, it should open up and look something like this. So before we get started, I just want us to run through our setup for our environment. So I want you to come here where it says extensions and just click that, and you'll be presented with a list of extensions, some recommended extensions and your installed extensions. But if you just downloaded it, you obviously don't expect to have any installed extensions. So let's just search for our first extension. Don't really bother with what I have there. Let's search for Prettier. So this is by far one of my favorite extensions. What it does is really easy. It simply formats your code every time you save it. So you don't really have to bother with like formatting your code. It makes your code much more readable. So once you've searched Prettier there should be a button here that says install. If you've never installed it before, so just click install. It should take a couple of moments to install, and once it's done, your screen should look something like this. So let's search for our next extension, which is Live Server. So let's just click that. And then, yes, this is Live Server. It's also already installed on my machine, so you can just come here and click an install button that you should expect to see if you haven't installed this already. It should also take a couple of moments. Live Server is an extension that allows you to is an extension that reloads your code for you, so you don't really have to reload it each time you type new code and save. Live Server automatically reloads your code as you type. So it's a really awesome extension to have with you. So we've got our live server set up, and now let's get busy. So first, let's open up our folder. We could create a new folder. I already have a folder created here called JS Tutorials. I'll just open that, and then we're presented with this screen right here. So let me just close that. we're presented with a screen like this. So firstly, we create a new file. You can create a file right here. It says new file, and we will call our file index.html. Got that done. Close that too. So we could just press Shift and 1. That'll give us a quick shortcut to type our basic HTML template. So for this, you are required to at least have a basic understanding of HTML. You're not supposed to be like an HTML whiz or anything. You just need to understand HTML, and yeah, you can just dive into that JavaScript. So firstly here, let's change the title and call it my first JS app. I could call it whatever. So the next part here is to link our JavaScript to our HTML page. How we add our JavaScript into our HTML page. So there's multiple ways we can add it. We could add it directly, or we could add it using a separate file. So first let me talk about where to add it. With CSS, when you're working with a CSS file in your HTML, it's pretty popular to add your CSS at the in your head tags. So with JavaScript, it's not really the same. It's not really the same with JavaScript because you'd want your code to first read what's in your page before it runs the JavaScript file, because sometimes you'd refer to elements which are in your HTML page, and supposing you had linked your JavaScript before your HTML had loaded, that's probably going to cause you errors, and you don't really need that. So the best place to put your JavaScript is at the bottom of your body, at the bottom of the body tag. So let's just type out a script tag, and let's give it a type of text / JavaScript, like that. And we close that tag. So in between here, you can pretty much write your JavaScript code. But like I mentioned earlier, it's not really recommended to have your JavaScript in the same page as your HTML. It looks messy, especially if you're working with like a really large file or you're creating a really large app. You don't really want that. So it's actually better to create a separate file which would link to your original HTML file. So let's do that by first creating a new file, and we'll call this file app.js. And this is the folder where we'll add our JavaScript code. Well, this is the file rather where we'll add our JavaScript code. So let's just go back to this index and let's refer to our file by typing src, not that, src, and app.js. So now our JavaScript is linked to our HTML file. So we can just run it real quick. We right click on the index.html and let's say open with live server. It should open up in your browser, and because we haven't added anything, you really don't expect to see anything. But let me show you something real quick. We can right click in our page and say inspect elements. Inspect elements, you should see a tab that says console. So this right here is our JavaScript console. So here we're able to receive JavaScript and we're able to type in our JavaScript manually. We could type in operations, mathematical operations like 1 + 1, and it'll give you an answer, and we can type in any valid JavaScript code and it will work. So for our first app, let's just try to send some data to our console. So let's go back. Let's go back to our code, open up app.js and type console.log the single quote there, and let's say hello world, hello world, and let's end it with a semicolon there. Let's save that, and when we go back to our browser, we should see our JavaScript code popping up there. So this should work in whatever browser you're using. Let me just show it to you real quick in our Chrome. Let's just copy this URL. Let's just paste it there. And then when we right click, we inspect, and then our console, and you should see up there our first message is hello world from our app.js file. So that's all I had for you today. If you enjoyed this video, please leave us a like and share this video to somebody who might like it. Leave us a comment telling me about anything that you'd like to learn about, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I'll catch you guys in the next one.